In the top stories, Prime Minister Drew seeks 100% reduction in violent crime. More than 400 earthquakes recorded in and around Jamaica in 2025, and Russia launches rear Oshnik ballistic missile strike on Ukraine amid escalating tensions. Hello and welcome to today's ZIZ Midday Major Newscast. Today is Friday the 9th of January 2026 and I am Jasmine Thomas. Prime Minister Drew says that perfection or getting to zero cases is the goal for violent crime reduction. Speaking during the first round table of the year, Dr. Drew said progress has been made and stressed that there is still more to be done.
Overall, homicides dropped by about 75–76%, and gun-related dropped by over 80-something%. It is the biggest drop across the whole region. It is bigger than Jamaica, it is bigger than Trinidad and Tobago or any other country. And I would say that that is tremendous, and that in itself stands on its own. Our objective is to get to perfection. Overall,
Prime Minister Drew outlined the comprehensive violence and crime prevention network in place to support getting to perfection. That system focuses in part on rehabilitation and support aimed at reducing the number of repeat offenders.
We have started, for example, through Elevate, proactive programs in the prison to decrease return to prison with Citizenship. We identify who you are when you come out, and there's a meeting to be had to see what is your scenario when you get out and what can we do so you don't return to prison. In the prison, we have the farm program, the education program. We have yoga and all these things in prison as well. And we have, I think it's called Hearts of Love, where we allow prisoners to meet their children. For example, we had that over the Christmas. All these are programs that help in the rehabilitation of those who are in prison at this particular time.
The system also includes programs designed to prevent violent convictions from happening in the first place through supportive alternatives and interventions.
We have the after-school or the suspension program, where children used to be suspended and be sent home. Now you're not sent home, you're sent to a program when you are suspended. That program presently is being conducted at the Keys Community Center, where you come and you have to do your work. Because we have the technology, they have access to computers, and their education do not stop, and it is structured and organized instead of sending you on the street. We have programs where we interact with multiple social groups to get them a part of the whole concept of citizen security, so that within their organization, they're also spreading the message of citizen security and anti-violence. With the security forces, we have started the security forces sports program, football, where we have hundreds of children. We had a young man who got a scholarship to the United States out of that program. We have a program at Elevate. Do you know that Elevate is a CXC certified center? So the members can actually write their CXC exams at the Elevate Center. And so we have free classes for our members and others, the community in general, and they can go there. So you might be people who are not identified to be in anything, but we want to take care of those who are vulnerable as well. And so this program is cast a large net, and I would say citizen security, everything fits into that, from the law enforcement, the judicial system, all the way down to things like football, because it is an all-of-society approach when it comes to the question of citizen security.
The Prime Minister also said that refurbished New Horizons will form part of the citizen security network. The government of St. Christopher and Nevis has announced 2 reforms to the country's citizenship by investment program aimed at strengthening security and attracting reputable investors. The measures include the introduction of a residency requirement for investors and the collection of biometric data from applicants worldwide. The announcement was made by Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew during a round-table engagement with members of the press on Thursday, 8th January. Prime Minister Drew said the government is committed to ensuring the CBI program maintains good standing and meets international expectations. He noted that since taking office in 2022, the administration has implemented a series of reforms, including increasing the minimum investment threshold, strengthening due diligence processes, improving transparency, and transforming the CBI unit into a statutory body to provide greater oversight. The Prime Minister also highlighted St. Kitts and Nevis's role in leading the establishment of the Eastern Caribbean Citizenship by Investment Regulatory Framework, which provides a shared regulatory authority among participating OECS member states. The government says the latest reforms represent a continued effort to protect and modernize the CBI program while safeguarding the country's national and economic interests. The Dr. Denzil L. Douglas Secondary School has formalized a landmark international partnership with Nanshan High School of New Taipei City in Taiwan following the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding on Thursday, 8th January. The agreement signed under the theme A Collaboration in Academic, Cultural and Educational Development establishes a framework for cooperation between the two institutions in areas including academic exchange, cultural enrichment, and the sharing of educational best practices. The signing ceremony was held in a hybrid format, with proceedings taking place at the DLDSS campus in St. Kitts, while representatives from Nanshan High School participated virtually, highlighting the use of technology to facilitate global engagement. Principal of the Dr. L. Douglas S. Secondary School, Miss Andriana French, said the partnership opens new opportunities for students and teachers, including exchange programs, joint projects, and collaborative learning experiences aimed at expanding global awareness. Principal of Nanshan High School, Mr. Tsai Ming Sheng, described the agreement as a bridge between St. Christopher and Nevis and Taiwan, noting the shared commitment to educational excellence and long-term cooperation. Senior Education Officer Mrs. Janelle Williams-Jacobs commended the collective efforts behind the initiative, saying it reflects a strong commitment to holistic education and international collaboration. Senior Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Dr. Denzil L. Douglas, said the partnership represents a meaningful step in strengthening educational and people-to-people ties between St. Christopher and Nevis and Taiwan. The signing concluded with the formal exchange of documents, marking the beginning of what both schools anticipate will be a productive and enduring educational partnership. On the regional scene, more than 400 earthquakes were recorded in and around Jamaica during 2025, according to the Earthquake Unit at the University of the West Indies, MONA. The information was disclosed by Scientific Officer Carleen Black during a Jamaica Information Service think tank on January 6th, ahead of Earthquake Awareness Week, which runs from January 11th to 17th. Black said a total of 402 earthquakes were recorded, with 122 classified as near events affecting neighboring territories, and 280 local events distributed across the island. She noted that 7 of the earthquakes were felt by residents in multiple parishes, including Portland, St. Thomas, St. Elizabeth, and St. Andrew, highlighting the island-wide nature of seismic risk. Black also pointed to the resilience of Jamaica's seismic monitoring systems, which remained operational despite damage to some stations following Hurricane Melissa. She reminded the public that Jamaica is a multi-hazard country where overlapping disasters are possible, and stressed the importance of preparedness and public awareness. Earthquake Awareness Week is being observed under the theme Resilient Jamaica. We weather the storm and brace for the shake, with a series of activities aimed at strengthening national resilience. And still in Jamaica, the Caribbean Examinations Council has approved a modified approach to the May-June 2026 examinations for high schools in 7 Jamaican parishes severely affected by Hurricane Melissa. The decision falls under CXC's Regional Disaster and Business Recovery Protocol and applies to schools in St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, and Westmoreland, where repairs and recovery efforts are still underway. CXC Registrar and the Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Wayne Wesley, said the Council has agreed on a plan of action with Jamaica's Ministry of Education to support students impacted by the Category 5 storm. Under the modified approach, candidates will sit Paper 01 along with their school-based assessments or alternative papers with additional adjustments to accommodate SBA completion. CXC will also allow late registration for affected schools without penalty and has extended the deadline for SBA submission to June 15, 2026. Officials said the measures are designed to support students while maintaining the integrity of the regional examination system as Jamaica continues its recovery. On the international scene, Russia has launched a rear strike using its advanced Oshnik ballistic missile against Ukraine, marking the first use of the weapon in more than a year. According to Russian officials, the missile was fired as part of a broader overnight attack involving dozens of missiles and hundreds of drones targeting Ukrainian cities amid freezing winter conditions. Ukrainian authorities reported explosions and damage to critical infrastructure, including in the western city of Lviv, while the capital, Kiev, experienced extensive drone strikes that caused power outages and damage to residential areas. The Oshnik missile is capable of traveling at hypersonic speeds and can carry multiple warheads. Ukrainian military officials said the missile's components are being examined to confirm its type and impact. Ukrainian officials said 4 people were killed and at least 10 others injured in Kiev during the attack, while no casualties were reported from the strike in Lviv. Ukraine's foreign minister described the attack as a serious threat to regional security, particularly given its proximity to European Union and NATO borders, and called for a strong international response. The strikes come as Russia continues targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure during the winter months, a strategy that Ukrainian officials say is aimed at disrupting daily life and applying pressure on the civilian population. The escalation also comes amid heightened tensions between Russia and Western nations over military support for Ukraine and recent actions involving Russian assorted shipping. Anti-government protests continue to spread across Iran, marking the most serious unrest seen in the country since 2022. Demonstrations began nearly 2 weeks ago over worsening economic conditions and sharply rising prices after changes to currency policies affected importers and consumers. Authorities have responded by cutting internet and telephone services in Tehran and other cities, limiting communication and the flow of information out of the country. Norway-based Iran human rights groups report at least 45 protesters have been killed, including 8 children, with hundreds more injured and thousands detained. These figures could not be independently verified. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has accused outside actors of fueling unrest and called on the United States President to focus on domestic issues. Internationally, Several airlines have cancelled flights to Iran, while regional and global powers say they are closely monitoring developments. The situation remains fluid as protests and security operations continue. We now take a look at the weather. Present weather across St. Kitts and Nevis is partly cloudy skies with vicinity showers. Winds, a gentle breeze of 7 to 10 miles per hour from the east-northeast. Seas are 1.0 to 1.8 meters or 3 to 6 feet. The weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis: partly sunny to partly cloudy with periods of increased cloudiness and a 40 to 70% chance of brief passing showers. Weather tonight: fair to partly cloudy skies, cool conditions with brief cloudy spells and a 40 to 60% or moderate chance of brief passing overnight showers. Sunset this evening is expected to be at approximately 6 o'clock, and sunrise tomorrow morning is at around 6:43. That brings us to the end of the Midday Major Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jasmine Thomas. God bless you.